Allow me to introduce you to the best clearing build I have ever played in over 10,000 hours worth of Path of Exile. Trust me, this is rich coming from someone who played multiple mirror tier builds. What's amazing though is that we are getting these explosions by utilizing a cheap and forgotten items in Path of Exile, combined with a relatively new crafting modifier that nobody seemed to notice so far. We'll get to them later though. Just a quick note before we begin, I'm using Celestial Herald of Ash MTX, just before anyone asks. So let's get started with our Ascendancy. We are an Elementalist for one major reason. The Ascendancy gives us lots of area of effect and elemental damage. You need both when you are playing an Autobomber build. In order to get these bonuses, first we have to path to Mastermind of Discord. This node adds an additional 25% elemental resistance penalty to any exposure you inflict. Pretty much every build can inflict exposure these days. Next we take what's arguably Path of Exile most broken Ascendancy right now, Heart of Destruction. This one gives us 60% increased area of effect and 30% more elemental damage for 4 seconds if we have hit a unique enemy recently. You cannot have both bonuses up at the same time. Now here's the thing, we already have too much damage while mapping, and we don't need that extra area of effect while bossing. Basically, the downside of this node is irrelevant as you get the correct bonuses all the time. Now from here we go for some golem support nodes. Now I know that some of you don't like golems, however these removes the need to micromanage them and increases their bonuses along the way. With them you will have up to 3 golems each having tripled effect on you, which ends up being as powerful as a 15% more damage Ascendancy node. Not impressive, but also not bad. But with that being said, we are done with our Ascendancy. Now let's talk about passive tree. We have one that focuses on area of effect, lightning nodes, because that's the element we converted our damage to. We also have power charges, and some life. Now once you are high level enough, consider investing into a large cluster jewel that adds the following notables: Thunderstruck, Prismatic Heart, and Doriani's Lesson. You can get different notables if you want, just make sure to have Doriani's Lesson on your jewel. From here we branch off into 2 medium cluster jewels. Each one adds some powerful area of effect notables like Vast Power and Towering Threat. And yeah, that was it for our passive tree. Now let's talk about items. Starting off with the one responsible for all those shiny explosions. We have Impulsa's Broken Heart. This chest gives us increased damage if we have shocked an enemy recently, increased shock effect which further increases our damage, and some life. That alongside causing enemies to explode, dealing 5% of their life as lightning damage. This is even better than the pre-nerfed elevated Crusader Explode mod on rare chests. So why isn't this item worth multiple hundreds of exalts or just straight up nerfed? Here's the thing, Impulsa alone isn't capable of giving you the result you are seeing in this video, mostly because it only causes enemies shock to explode, dealing damage that doesn't shock. What does that mean is that the chest will never chain off of itself. But as you can see, we chain explosions in this build. GGG have recently introduced Eldritch Implicits which can be rolled on rare items. One of these implicits proliferates shock to all nearby enemies in a decent area around itself. This implicit can be rolled on gloves and it's pretty common as well. Even its lowest tier is good enough to give you a similar result to mine. Now spreading shock with Impulsa isn't new. People used to do that with a pair of gloves called Storm's Gift. However, for some reason GGG decided that it's a good idea to condense that item into a single implicit, which you can add to any rare gloves you want. Pretty crazy, but hey, it's a free upgrade, so might as well take it. Personally, I rolled this implicit on a 50C gloves that had life, and a unique temple mod which gives us both tier 1 lightning resistance and 60% increased critical strike chance. Then I multi-modded into area of effect and more damage. For your other Eldritch implicit, make sure to roll lightning exposure on hit. Our second item is a pair of 2 Void Battery unique wands. I have talked about this one in multiple videos already. It is a no-brainer in any spell build as it gives you more damage than any mirror tier wand if you stack enough power charges. Pretty straightforward. Our next item is a rare helm with lots of life, +1 to maximum power charges, and 20% crit multi. After that you should try to get as many defensive modifiers as your budget allows. Just make sure to get a reservation enchantment on your helm which fits any of the aura or heralds we are using. That's required for our specific reservation setup. Our next item is a pair of Gotta Go Fast boots. You need movement speed, tailwind, and elusive, and I don't think I need to explain why. Any walking simulator build would really love to have as much movement speed as possible. Our next item is the Precursor Emblem Unique Ring with +1 to maximum power charges. I have said this a lot, these rings can be expensive for obvious reasons. Luckily now you can roll +1 to maximum power charges on any ring thanks to Sentinel crafting. For my second ring, it's just another +1 power charge ring with tier 1 life. Next for our amulet, we got one with movement speed, area of effect, +1 to minimum frenzy charge craft, or endurance charge if you prefer being more tanky, and even more area of effect. Make sure to anoint Infuse on your amulet for the last power charge, which we could not afford to path to on the passive tree. Last but not least, we got Headhunter. It's quite cheap this league despite being buffed in terms of having triple duration on stolen rare modifiers. That's thanks to some other build which everyone is trying to get. Overall, Headhunter is not required, but it's a nice stats filler as we need both strength and dexterity. Try to enchant your Headhunter with increased area effect while you have Arcane Surge lab enchant once you have time. And with that being said, we are done with our items. Now let's talk about gems that goes inside of them. For our main 6 link we have Val Blade Vortex, Anomalous Fist to Lightning support, Awakened Lightning Penetration, Awakened Spell Echo, Anomalous Inspiration, and Power Charge on crit. Next we got a 4 link reservation setup, starting with Wrath, Herald of Thunder, Herald of Ash, and level 4 Enlighten. Now since we invested a little bit into reservation on our passive tree, that allows us to go into a second aura setup. In it we have Petrified Blood, Herald of Purity, Precision, and level 4 Enlighten. If you feel that your mana isn't enough, then consider dropping one of your heralds instead. Our last mandatory gem setup contains Ice Golem, Flame Golem, Chaos Golem, and Frost Blink. Feel free to link your Frost Blink with Arcane Surge if you got your belt enchant going. And yeah, that was it for our gems. Now let's talk about jewels. We are only using unique jewels in this build, starting with our Watcher's Eye. It has both increased critical strike chance while affected by Wrath, and increased critical strike multiplier while affected by Precision. Next we got the Militant Faith Timeless Jewel that mentions High Templar Dominus specifically. Place it in this specific socket to maximize its effect. Also make sure that it doesn't convert notables within its range. This jewel will convert only by keystones into Inner Conviction. Inner Conviction gives us 3% more spell damage per power charge. That's around 1/3 more damage from just a single jewel. Next we got both Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh jewels. Both of them mentions Forbidden Power Occultist Ascendancy node. Forbidden Power gives a 6% increased damage and area effect per power charge, that alongside increasing their maximum count by 1. Now we have a total of 12 power charges in this build. Also we got 132% increased area effect from both Ascendancies combined. Pretty crazy. Our last unique jewel is Dissolution of the Flesh. This one increases our effective life pool by 80% when combined with Petrified Blood. The downside is that you need to avoid taking damage for 2 seconds if you wish to recover lost life, as this jewel reserves it instead of taking it as normal damage. Also, you need to have your life already at 50% at the start of every map to capitalize on the interaction between this jewel and Petrified Blood. Finally, for Bandit's Quest, we decided to help Alira as usual. As for Pantheons, we went for both the Soul of the Brine King and the Soul of Abereth. And that was it for our best explode build of the century. If you guys have enjoyed this video, then feel free to leave a like, and if you didn't, then make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. My name is Phoenix and I will see you all in the next video.